Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so we're going to circle back. So you are here for Dating Chronicles, where you give this funny, crazy, or lesson learned dating
Wait, hold
story.
on. Which one? Let me see. I'm going to give you an option. Do I even have my phone on me? All right, so I can give you an option. It could be when I found out the guy I was dating was on the first 48. When my two boyfriends set me up in high school.
What?
Or I could do my first relationship when I got to Atlanta, I found out he was married. So you could pick which one you want to go to.
I slip on here all three. Oh my God.
I can make them short so we can get through all three.
You know what? Yeah, let's go.
I can do it. So,
hey everybody, it's your girl DJ with Plan for Keys podcast, and today I have Tamira, aka a girl from Harlem.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, she is a podcaster. Yes. She is the co-host of the GuadShow podcast. She is a consultant, and you're a media baddie.
Yeah,
I also see as well. Yes,
that's what I like to call myself. I know that's right.
Yeah, so you are here for Dating Chronicles, where you give a funny, crazy, or lesson learned dating story, but before we dive into that, I'm going to spare you at first.
Okay.
I want to learn more about you.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about you, what you're doing out here in Atlanta, and just all of that great stuff.
All right. So, of course, my name's Tamira. I'm from Harlem. I went to school up in Utica. I have a Syracuse diploma for journalism and public relations. Okay. So right out of college, I started working for Power 105. So that's one of the ways I kind of got into this. I was living in my mom's house, and I have a strong theory that two queens can't live in one castle. So at some point, I had to start transitioning. But if you ever go apartment searching in New York City, you will be depressed. You will probably just say, fuck it, I'll live in my parents' basement because it's just so bad.
I have a homegirl who moved to Brooklyn, and she makes a certain amount of money, so that's why she was able to afford it.
Yeah, it's a certain amount of money.
Yeah, you really have to make a certain amount.
Yeah, they will charge you $3,000 for a studio apartment.
Yeah, that is wild.
In the hood, walk up steps, no elevators, no amenities. And I grew up in a pretty nice brownstone, so when I was trying to get out my mom's house, I was like, y'all want me to live here, and pay to be here? Absolutely not. So that's when I first started thinking about where I could go. I had never visited Atlanta at all, never been here before. And I just started looking into it. I thought it would be a good transition between the city and I still get the country life, but it wouldn't be a shock. I wouldn't be like, this slow shit. Okay, curse?
Yes, you can curse.
Okay. So I was like, I thought Atlanta would be a good fit for me. So I was thinking about it, but I wasn't too keen on it. And then I actually went online to apply for jobs in Atlanta and look up some applications and stuff like that. It was still just a thought. And I had used our house computer at the time, the desktop. And I went upstairs to my room, and then I came downstairs, and my mom was like, okay, Vivica Fox.
Ooh.
And I was like, ma'am, are you on drugs? What are you, is your memory going? I'm like, why are you calling me Vivica Fox? What are you talking about? I guess Vivica Fox had a sex tape or something back in the day.
Did she?
I don't know. I think that's what she was referencing. But my mom went through my email. She had saw a sex tape with me and my boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
And I'm like, girl, why would you go through our emails? Why are you downloading the video, pressing play, watching it? I'm like, I don't have no, you saw what you saw, girl. And she was hot. So I was like, yeah, I think that's the clue that I really got to get up out of here. So January 1st, I packed up, I moved to Atlanta, and I never looked back.
Wow. Did you come down here with a job? Because I know you was working
I
for
had no job.
What?
I had zero money. I didn't even have money when I came down here. I think I came down here, I stayed in a hotel the first 2 days. My mom made a deal with me a while ago, if you move down south, go find a husband, I'll give you $5,000. And I was like, I'm down here, where's that $5,000? And then she didn't even believe I was here. She was pretty much send proof that you're really in Atlanta. And then after a week, she was like, I'm not gonna give you the whole file, but I'll give you $2,500. And then that's how I moved into my first apartment. No furniture, nothing like that. This is before Uber was big in Atlanta. I'm from New York. Of course I didn't have a license, didn't know how to drive, didn't know my way around the city. So don't have any family, friends, nothing out here. I literally just packed up and came out here. So what was my first job? I always waitress. I've had every job in the world. I done worked on the radio. I done been a kindergarten teacher. I've done everything you could think of. So when I came out here naturally, I think I just jumped. Oh no, I tried to get an office job.
How did that work out?
It was the most depressing thing I ever did in my life. I called my mom every day, there's no way I sit in front of computers for 8 hours. It was just I don't like, no offense to anybody who does that, but I was like, this is not for me. So I tried that, left that, and then I just went back into waitressing because that's always something I did on the side. And then I went into managing restaurants and then just was climbing the ladder on that career. And me and Ray had been friends already. And then when COVID hit, actually, my mom was like, come back to New York. You need to be here with me. And I'm like, girl, why would I go to the center of the pandemic to sit in the house with you?
Yeah.
And then she was like, you don't want to take care of your mother? And I'm like, you don't need taking care of. But I went back to New York for a while, helped them. I worked for a nonprofit while I was out there. So I helped kind of try to build that relationship between the Black communities and hospitals and doctors, because we was like, I'm not putting no shit in me. I'm not getting vaccinated. So trying to convince people to do the right thing, take care of the community, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. And then I actually got fired for that job for lying about being vaccinated because I didn't get vaccinated. But I was outside like, go get vaccinated. Anyway, so that's why I always tell people don't listen to me. But anyway, so when I was on my way back to Atlanta, I was on Facebook and Ray put a status and was like, I'm putting together a team. I'm looking for people to work for me. And I wrote him and I was like, I want to work for you. And he was like, okay. And I knew Ray for a while. And he was like, okay. I don't know if he was going to take me seriously or not. But then he texted me. He was like, my assistant's going to be contacting you. And I was like, okay, big shot, Mr. Assistant. So I was like, I didn't know him in that capacity. I knew him from the clubs and partying and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, Mr. Assistant. Like, I probably really didn't even know who Ray Daniels was in a big capacity at that point.
Got you.
So I take everything seriously, and that's advice I would give to everybody. Don't take any opportunity lightly. Yeah. So when I went in his office, now he knows me as being a party girl. He's like, oh, this is 7 days a week, drunk anytime I see Tamira. It's a good time. So he didn't expect that. He didn't see the professional side of me. So when I came in, I had a whole presentation, notes. Like, I had this whole thing, and I just blew his team away, and they were like, no, we need her on the team. So that's how me and Ray started working together. And it's only been a year, but we're really, like, building everything. And I started not even doing a podcast with him. I started as a media marketing consultant with him. So I was helping him build out some of his artist projects and figuring out what direction he wanted to go. I was really trying to get him bigger. And so when I started working with him, he only had maybe 30,000 followers. And I made a deal with him that I would get him to 100,000 followers within a year. I didn't know how, but I was like, I'll figure something out. And from the clips and the little things we started doing, people wanted a podcast, and then we started doing a podcast. So, and now Ray's at 100,000 followers. So
yo, that is so dope.
Thank
That
you.
is awesome.
Yeah, we tried.
Wow. So that was the come up. So that was within this last year.
Yeah, that was the last year and a half, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because it's been a little bit over a year I've been working for Ray, so probably about a year and 2 months.
Where do you see your career going, or where do you want to take it?
So, like, immediately, my short-term goal, hopefully I could accomplish this by the end of the year. I want to be on radio. So I just want to have, like, a segment with one of those DJs. Like, back in the day, I grew up in New York, so they used to have, like, Miss Info used to come on and do, like, a little quick rundown of what's going on with the gossip and stuff like that. I just want something small on the radio. And then maybe one day it'll lead to my show, my own show, because that's where I come from. In college, I had my own radio show. Of course, I was at Power, so I do want to go back to that type of thing. So short-term, I want to do that. I know long-term Ray wants a late-night TV show, but that's crazy to me. That's dreaming really big. But I'm with Carisha. I want to be the Black Oprah. Like, come on, Carisha. Me and you going to have to fight for that spot. So
I know that's right.
That's what I'm going for.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, so we're going to circle back. So you are here for Dating Chronicles, where you give this funny, crazy, or lesson learned dating story.
Wait, let me see. I'm going to give you an option. Do I even have my phone on me? All right, so I can give you an option. It could be when I found out the guy I was dating was on the first 48. What? When my two boyfriends set me up in high school.
What?
Or I could do my first relationship when I got to Atlanta, I found out he was married. So you could pick which one you want to go to.
I slip one here, all three. Oh my God.
I can make them short so we can get through all three.
You know what? Yeah, let's go.
I can do it. So let's do it with the high school one. So the high school one, I had this boyfriend. He was pretty popular. He played basketball. And he kept cheating on me. And I was so oblivious to it. Like, when you're 16, 17, you are so in love. And, like, I was everywhere with him. And everybody knew us. So I just didn't think it was possible. He kept cheating on me. So finally, I was cheating back. Fuck that. So I started cheating back. But you can't play like that when boys play basketball because they know everybody. Yeah. So me and we were kind of, like, halfway breaking up. And we were already not talking. So he was like, come with me to a basketball game on Saturday. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go with you. And he was like, please, like, we really need some time together. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll come. Once I get there, I see the boy I was talking to a cousin playing on the court, and I knew it was a setup right then and there. So I'm like, my stomach hurts. I got to go. And he's like, no, just chill for like 10 minutes, and then I'll walk you to the train if you want to leave. I should have knew it was a setup. And I'm just like, no. When I say he came and sat down right next to me and kissed me on the cheek, and they both sitting here, and I'm like, y'all both mad stupid because y'all both going to call me when I leave here anyway. And I got up and left because I was just so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. And they both called me. So don't set nobody up unless you really going to leave because now you're just embarrassing yourself.
Wait, so they both called you? Like,
yeah, they both were like, oh, no, where'd you go? Yeah. They like still trying to fix it. But now I'm like, y'all know about each other. Go play with each other in the bathroom because I'm not dealing with this. Like, now y'all made the block hot. Yeah, but they almost fought after that basketball game. Like, they thought they would set me up, and then they set each other up. I don't know what to tell you about that one.
Oh, wow.
What was the other one? Okay, so then when I first moved to Atlanta, how did I even meet this guy? I was at a basketball game, and I saw this tall, dark-skinned, handsome, older guy. He had a Yankee fitted on, so I'm thinking he's from New York. He had a little swag. And I go to the bathroom, and when I come out the bathroom, he's waiting for me. So I was like, what you doing here? Like, New Yorker, mad aggressive. Yeah. So he liked it. We exchanged numbers. We're dating. He's telling me all the things that you want to hear when you're first to Atlanta. He's like, you don't got to work. I'll take care of you. And I should have knew something was up because he was like, you don't bother me, I won't bother you. Like, whatever you need from me, I got you. Like, oh, yeah. And I'm just like, okay. Head all in the clouds, loving it, right? So one day we go to dinner at Houston's and he forgets to take his ring off. So I get in a car and he has a ring on his finger. And I'm dyslexic. So I'm like, left, right, left, right, left. I'm in my head like, left, that is his ring. That is the left hand. That is a ring finger on his hand. So I guess I don't say anything because we're still like dating at this time. Like we probably a month or two in. So I'm not saying nothing. I'm like, I'm going to keep this shit in my back pocket. Yeah. So, but we're at dinner or whatever. So he realizes he got the ring on while he's driving. So he starts trying to itch and hide the finger and do stuff. And once we get to the restaurant, he acts like he has to wash his hands. He comes back, rings off. Oh, I'm like, say less. So that just confirmed everything right then and there. So I'm like, I know how to deal with you moving forward. So he goes through my phone one day and says something to me about talking to other dudes. And I'm like, nigga, you're married. And you should have seen his face. Do you have my other phone? I want to read the letter that his wife wrote me.
Oh, snap. Did it get that deep?
It got deep. So I set the other phone when you sent me this one. I need my other phone. Oh, okay. I could look it up if I want to. But anyway, so the wife ends up, so he's telling me like we're separated. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, wow.
My cousin sent me the screenshot of it the other day because that's how she still had it saved on her phone. I'm like, you just want to remind me of how horrible my life used to be. But anyway, so long story short, at some point, the wife she sends me an email. I don't know how she gets my email. I think she went through his phone, sends me an email. After I found out, he tells me they're separated, we're divorced, we're not together anymore. How do you think? Like, he's living with me. So it's like, how are you married? So
wow, okay.
He's like, no, we're divorced, we're separated. The daughter starts coming over. I have a whole little arts and crafts section set up in my house, thinking they're divorced. Or he took me to dinner to celebrate his divorce. And then like 3 months later, the wife reaches out to me to let me know that he won't sign the divorce papers, that they're still married, like all this stuff. It was a mess. It was just bad. So I kicked him out. I have the video. I got to show you this video.
Oh, my God. Wait, so was it confirmed that he just wouldn't sign the divorce papers?
She sent me all the proof. She sent me the screenshots. She sent me everything there was. God. And it was just so bad because, like, his daughter was involved at that point. Like, she was staying with us. We were, like, thinking about getting a new apartment so we could give her on her own room. Like, just dumb. But anyway, which camera should I show this to? Because I want to show the camera. I set his stuff on fire. So when I found out I'm one of those, I set it all on fire. You see that? Fire, all of it. The good sneaker, flu games, the good stuff on fire because you're not gonna play with me. Play with somebody else's kids, not this one. So, yeah, he had to go. So that was one, and then the last one, real quick. I was at work. I was managing a restaurant, and it's late night. We're getting ready to close. My boyfriend comes to pick me up, and this girl looks at me, and her jaw is like on the floor, and she's like, "That's your boyfriend?" And I'm like, "Wow, who's his girlfriend?" Like, I'm like, "Who is it?" She like, "I don't know, but he was on the first 48." I'm like, "The first 48 what? Like the murder show?" And she's like, yes, she knew the name of the episode and everything.
No.
And I didn't even leave work that day because I went up in the office and I watched it. And I was just in such shock. Like, y'all let me run around Atlanta with this nigga that's on the first 48. And most people was calling him a snitch on the first 48. So it's like, I could be in danger here. Like, cold rag, get me out of here.
Yo, how did you end that?
I don't even think I ever asked him about it, honestly. I think I just... it was such a good lifestyle that I was just willing. Like, I was like, oh, that's in the past. I didn't feel like I watched the episode. I didn't think he did anything wrong, so it didn't bother me as much. But the public perception was so serious that even when I argue with people on the internet, they'd be like, shut up, you're dating a snitch. And I'll be like... So, yeah, that ended because he's a fat nigga, and fat niggas put the eat and cheat, and he kept cheating, and there was nothing I could do about that one. Yeah. So that was the best I had.
Let me ask you, with all those stories, tell me, what's the lesson you think you learned from each story?
Take your time. That's what I would say. Take your time with these men, especially if you're in Atlanta. I think people could fake who they want to be for a long time. I think people are really good at putting a foot forward and trying to get what they want out of it. I'm one of those girls. I'm super smart. I know how to do a lot of businesses, and men see that, so they always want to date me and think I'll run their business for them or help them do something to help them get somewhere. So you got to be careful. You got to know what you bring to the table. Make sure you're leveraging it properly. Like I said, take your time. Don't rush into things. And always have a plan. Make sure that you can stand on your own if worst case scenario. And really know yourself. Know what you want from these relationships. Know what you're dating. Don't settle. I was young, so I would convince myself I was okay with cheating because the money was involved. Gotcha. I was always trying to convince myself I could ignore certain things and that I was good as long as I was sitting in a penthouse apartment in a luxury building. No, that's not okay. If I got to worry about where you at, if I got to worry about if you bring home STDs, if I got to worry about if there's a bitch outside clowning me, if every time we go outside, I got to wonder if our waitress is so low-key fucking you. I don't want to deal with shit like that. Ooh. So, yeah.
So tell me what you look for now.
I don't know. I even tried to date outside my race, and I'm so, like, halfway racist, like maybe 98% racist. So you know it's bad if I start trying to go outside and date outside my race. So now I want somebody who's like a protector, a provider, and somebody I could trust. That's what I look for most. Somebody that I think could take me to the next level. I'm a planner, so I need somebody that's a doer. So I need a partner that I feel like can execute anything that I come up with. I want somebody like I come with, hey, babe, here's $1 million plan, and he could execute it, and we could go on. So I want a partner. I want somebody I could do life with. I want someone who can control themselves.
Yeah.
Men can't control themselves. And someone who looks at me and sees me for me. I think that's a big thing. I think men tend to just look at the surface. They don't understand everything that comes with it, or the work that involves relationships, or the emotional baggage that everybody comes with, whether it's childhood traumas or losing parents as adults. I don't know. But you want to have somebody that... The biggest thing for me is when I get good news or bad news, I want somebody I'm excited to call and share that with. And men don't give that anymore, so I'm over it.
What? I want to piggyback off something you said. Like you said that guys tend to look at just the surface level. Mm-hmm. How have you dealt with that in the past? Like, how did that make you feel?
One thing that I've always been a pretty girl since I was little. Not pretty. I meant like typical pretty. So my stepbrothers and my mom and everybody will always tell me like your looks can only get you but so far. So always be smart too. Don't just be a pretty girl. So that was something that I always took seriously. And then the good thing is that Atlanta, I look nothing like most of the girls in Atlanta. I don't have the BBL. I don't wear the long lashes. I don't wear the bust down 20-inch weaves. I don't have the long nails. So you got to have confidence in yourself and be like, this is what I'm bringing to the table, take it or leave it. that's one of the reasons why I never did go get my body done, because I didn't want men dating me just for what I look like on the outside. I feel like
you felt like you dealt with that like all of your life in a way.
Well, I feel like that's what initially gets people in. Like, of course, the outside is going to attract them, but it's about what keeps people. And I have one of those personalities that people tend to like, and people always fake fall in love with me the first week. And that's one thing, like, my former best friend would say, like, oh, everybody loves Tamira. Like, she would get pissed about it. But it's rare that you could find somebody that's pretty and have, like, any type of conversation, because I'm a really good conversationalist. So I could talk about a plethora of things because I went to school for journalism. I'm real diverse in the news I listen to and what type of things I could talk about. So one of the biggest things I probably took away from college, and I didn't take away much, was always be able to add to a conversation. So my teacher in college would give us tests on the front page of the New York Times, and it would be everything from who won the dog show this week to who was NASA cars race winner this week. So it makes you able to insert something in every conversation. So the worst thing you want to do as an adult is be in a room full of people talking and you don't have nothing to add, nothing to say. You're just sitting there confused. So always diversify my profile and making sure. So I think that people are going to come to you for what they see, of course. I think that females and males are like that. That's the initial, but you got to reel them in with just what's on the outside. If somebody, first of all, I don't play that. If you bring up any sex, physical shit, and I just met you, you're out of here. Like, that's the biggest turn off to me as an adult. Like, you thinking with your dick still at this big age? Nah, I'm good on you. So I hope I'm not still dealing with stuff like that. I hope we're older now and we're looking for different things in partners.
You'd be so surprised. So now, what are you like? Okay, that's one of the things that you automatically X out. What else do you X out?
I used to X out having kids because I just felt like I can't be a priority to you if you have kids. But now that I'm later in my life, I want to see what type of parent you are. Now I want to know how you handle your kids. If you're bringing random females around your kids, if you only see them to take a picture and drop them off. So now I'm not Xing out people who have kids.
What's the limit?
Oh, just one. Now, like, if you outside with 3 baby mothers, and I'm not.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And the age is a big thing too. Like, you can't have a fresh baby. Like, the C-section still getting sewn, and you out here trying to be in my face. Absolutely not. So, I think that that's something you got to factor in. Another thing, I just don't. What's a no for me? Partying every night as a grown man, unless that's your business, and even then, I'm not that interested in it. Not having the basic things that I feel like adults should have, which is like your phone and your name. Because these men be begging girls to get phones in their names. Apartment in your name, car in your name, a bank account that works. Like, why am I begging for the bare minimum here? But most of these men, especially black men in Atlanta, don't have those things. So sitting here trying to ask for the bare minimum.
Is there a difference, like, between dating guys in New York, between dating guys in Atlanta?
100%. I think the guys in Atlanta, the guys in Atlanta lead with money a little bit because they don't have as much personality as, like, especially when I'm as a New Yorker and they step into me, they think I want money. They think they got to come doing all that. New York niggas is funny. So New York niggas gonna come to you, roast you. Oh, fuck out of here with that little butt. You think you cute? Like, they're gonna make you laugh first and then reel you in, and they're gonna make sure you have a good time.
That's what that is when they do that?
Yeah, that's that. You know how when you're little and they be like, oh, the boys is mean to you, they like you. Yeah, that's how New York niggas try to talk to girls sometimes. And that's not all the time, but I also think, like, the biggest difference is culture. I think men down here tend to be more family oriented because out here you're more likely to grow up with your cousins and your mom and your aunts and all that. In New York, it's really everybody for themselves. So out here, you have a little bit more concern for, like, the village and the community. So I appreciate that.
Got you. Okay. I'm going to dive into these questions. They're not scary like that. I need to come up with some more, to be honest with you.
You make them yourself?
Yeah, so there's quite a few of them. Most of them, yeah. So, do you think men and women can be friends? Why or why not?
Yes, I have a bunch of male friends. I think initially, most of the male friends I have probably had crushes on me in the beginning, but once they got friend zoned, they're there. And we've been that way. Me being from New York, I grew up on the block. So I grew up with boys and what you want me to do? Not hang out with my next door neighbor? I had, like, we was 11 years old together. Like, one of my brothers, he's in town right now. And we've been in summer camp together since we was 10 years old. Like, you're not going to tell me that's not my brother. You're not going to sit here and take that away from me. So, and I also think if you went to college, you had to have male friends. If you work, you're going to have friends of the opposite sex. I think it's so immature to think that you can't. You need to have friends of the opposite sex. You need somebody telling you you're bugging. You need that male's point of view. I had a male best friend for years, and me and him really fell out because his girlfriend for years was convinced that we were together, and I kept telling her he's broke, and I would never date him. And I was so honest about that. You're the only one who wants him. Like, I was so adamant about it, and she was right though. He was in love with me. I didn't see it at first. Yeah. But when we had fell out, somebody had reached out to me like, "Oh, X, Y, and Z is looking for you," and I'm like, man, let him have his happy relationship. Like, I'm not, he told me that that's the girl you want to marry. Stop arguing with her. I'm going to respect that. I don't want to argue with her no more. And then I guess they broke up and they was like, oh, he said he want to marry you. And I'm like, ew. And then I wrote her and I was like, sis, you was right. He was obsessed with me the whole time. My fault for even arguing with you. But I do think that men and women can be friends as long as they're both on the same page. I think sometimes both sides could have opposite opinion. One person trying to be the friend, one person just trying to wait it out and see when they chance can present itself. But I think that that when you have a guy that's kind of waiting around to see, I don't know. I have so many male friends from like my block to one of my closest friends in Atlanta, the first friend I met in Atlanta that I've been with for 10 years. Wow. He would never look at me like that. Like, so I do 100% think it's possible, but you have to set the boundaries and make it clear from the beginning.
Definitely. Okay. My ex taught me blank, and I apply it in my relationships today.
One of my exes taught me that I need to be more thankful. I was one of those girls that thought everything was supposed to be given to me, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to take me out, and I didn't realize like I wasn't saying thank you for the little stuff and for the big stuff, and just not being appreciative. I acted like people were supposed to do things for me.
Where do you think that came from?
I'm an only child, only grandchild. So I think like just being spoiled, being hypnotized by social media and the books I was reading growing up. I read all them, the Ghetto Girls and Fly Girls and Be More Careful and Coldest Winter Ever, and thinking like they supposed to be buying me clothes and taking me shop. But it will beyond that. Like I remember he was buying my mother Christmas presents, buying her Coach bags and stuff, and I didn't say thank you. Wow. And I think that was one of his final straws for me. And that was before I moved to Atlanta, but realizing what it was, I was like, I'll be more appreciative. So now I always try to say thank you after everything. I always try to make sure I let people know that. And I'm not good with words. I'm bad at that. I'd be like, they know what's going on.
Really?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Right. That's a good question. Really? As far as it comes with emotions, because I like to act like I'm not emotional. I get that from my mom. Like, I cried at my grandmother's funeral. My mother was like, what are you crying for? Like, I have one of those families. Like, what are you doing? Like, so for me, I have problems with like I don't say I love you to people. Like I'd be like, even my mom, like I don't do it to her. Like I'm not a I love you person. Like even with my friends, if they like I'm not a hugger. Like they know if they want to make me uncomfortable, they be like, oh, I love you so much, give me a hug. I'll be like, bitch, see, here we go with the shit again.
I'm glad you said that because I'm a hugger and I would have tried to give you
I could give a hug at the end. But like I'm not like, no, my friends want to hug all the time and lay up under me and cuddle buddy, and I'd be like, girl, go hang out with one of the other ones. Like, I'm not this one. Like, not today, girl. Like, I have a friend. She's so cute. She's so loving. She always, like, wants to hug and kiss and be under you. Be like, girl, I miss you. And I'd be like, are you trying to piss me off? She's like, I know it makes you uncomfortable, so I like to do it. And I'm like, girl, leave me alone. But, yeah, it definitely comes from being an only child and just thinking that things are supposed to be given to me.
Got you. How have you been working on like your vulnerability, like within that space?
I Googled that the other day. I had Googled why I'm so bad at receiving compliments. So I had went out the other day and this guy came up to me. He was like, you're the most beautiful girl in the room. And I'm like, really? Because she's really pretty. And he was looking at me like, are you dumb? Like, what's wrong with you? And I always do it. And Ray's been telling me, like, you have to just receive it. Just say, at least say, I receive it. My ass just be like, really? Wow. Or I'll counteract it. Or I'll be like, you too. All of that is deflecting. Everything. Even when somebody be like, you're pretty, I'll be like, girl, I'm trying to be like you. All of that is deflecting. All of it. Just say thank you, sit in it, accept it. I don't do that. So I Googled the other day, what are some reasons that people have issues with accepting compliments? And one of the things that came up was vulnerability. And it was like, because when someone's giving you a compliment, it's like they see you and you feel uncomfortable with people kind of seeing you, and it makes you too open. And I was like, that's the one right there.
Do you think it stems from childhood? Maybe you always being maybe the center of attention, and it came out in negative ways, you think?
I think that, like, so when I was looking at some of it, so then I had to go and Google, why do people have vulnerability issues? Like, I was really trying to do self-therapy. So it was like, why do people have vulnerability issues? And it said because of childhood trauma. I don't think I had an amazing childhood, but I did grow up without my father. So that might be one of the things that play into it. I like to think I don't have daddy issues because I grew up with an amazing stepfather. My mom did an amazing job with raising me. I never wanted for anything. I had amazing childhood experiences. But I guess that is one of the ways that affects me indirectly that I didn't think was happening. And when I say I'm horrible with compliments, like it, and I said this on my show the other day, I was like, I'm bad with compliments. And literally right as I said it, one of the guys on the couch turned to me and was like, your hair looks nice. And I'm like, really? I just threw it up. And, and I didn't even realize what he was doing in that moment. And I'm like, there's no way I'm really this bad at it. So yeah, just at the end of the day, we're all, especially as Black people, we're new to this. We're figuring it out. We're trying to figure out how to be free and build generational wealth and raise our kids and not make our parents' mistakes and learn from everybody before us. I went to my family reunion recently, and I found out my great-grandmother died from a self-inflicted abortion, trying to give herself an abortion. And that was something I didn't know why my grandmother's mother died. I knew she died at an early age in my grandmother's life, but I didn't know why. But it makes sense why my grandmother was not emotional and wasn't as present as a parent because she didn't have her mom there. But that reflected in my mom's parenting, and she made sure she was overly emotional and overly a good parent and very present in my life. So all we could do was learn and apply and try to do better for the next generation. I think that's something that we are really trying to do. I think as Black people, we're talking more to each other. Right. That was a thing, too. We used to keep everything in-house and not want people to know what was going on. And now that we're talking to each other more and supporting each other and leading hands and letting people know you're not in this alone, you're not the only one going through that, I think that we're moving forward as a community.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Let me ask you this. Pivot a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10,
0.
How scared are you of being hurt?
Hurt? I think it comes with the territory, honestly. Even when you're learning somebody, you're going to get your feelings hurt just trying to figure out each other, what people like, what they don't like. I guess it would be a million for me because that's why I don't date and I don't put myself out there because I'm not willing to be vulnerable. I don't want to get hurt. But I have really good defense mechanisms. Like, I will act like I don't know you. I will delete you in a quick second. I get the fuck up out of there.
That Kiki Palmer meme popped up in my head. I don't know if you've seen it.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Yes, that's me. Who's this? Never heard of him. I don't know that man. I do not know that man.
How do you find a great relationship, though, if your defenses are up so high?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You can't figure it out.
How do you think what do you think you'd be willing to kind of
compromise on? Or?
Yeah, not even compromise, but like let your guard down like a little bit in that space.
It would have to be somebody different. It would have to be like something I never seen before. Like maybe you got to lead with openness, and I don't. Do
you think guys don't lead with openness, and that's why it's hard for you?
Well, for me, I was outside dating scammers and drug dealers. So I was outside linking and drinking and doing ghetto fun stuff. So when you date those type of people, they aren't really looking for much substance in the first place. So I think it had a lot to do with the type of people I was dating. And then even now with me trying to pivot, like we could go through my Hinge and I'm sitting here just like, it's just not hitting. Like I was like, let me delete this app. Me and a dude on Hinge was arguing this morning because he was like, why are you so happy about Jeezy getting a divorce from the Asian lady? And I was like, because he should have never married the Asian lady. But that's another story for another day.
I seen that post, by the way.
Yeah, I ate him up. He had to go. I don't know why. What they said she thinks she a Kardashian, getting a black baby and leaving. Yep, come on now. They need our genes, but I'm not going to go into that one.
Okay.
But yeah, what would it take? Something different, something I never seen before, new experiences, very mature. Just knowing what you want. I really like no games. Like somebody that says what they means what they says, and puts their best foot forward.
Got you. You seem like the type who's okay with dating multiple men to cast a wide net. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I'm gonna put all the cards on the table and figure out how I want to play. 100%.
Got you.
That's
okay.
what I like to do.
Got you. Okay. Now, if you could be remembered for one thing from a past relationship, what would it be?
If I could be remembered for one thing, but you said from a relationship, like I don't like what do I want my exes to remember me for?
Or what do you think they would remember you for?
Cooking. That's the only thing I could do. What would my exes? Being smart. That would be probably the thing. Like all of them say, like I've always had conversations with them that they probably aren't having elsewhere. Being supportive and always being there, giving really good advice for them, whether it's business, family, anything like that. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, like one of my exes still called me. Yeah, I know we're not speaking, but I need your advice. What? Call the girl you're talking to. I ain't got the answer, friend. But yeah, always giving raw, honest advice and always wanting their best interest. Hopefully.
Got you. What advice would you give? Because I know you're still trying to figure it out, but with you trying to still figure it out and thinking on certain stuff, because it seems like you're doing the research, you're trying to pivot and change. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to somebody who's also trying to figure it out?
Sit down and have the conversation with yourself first. I've been asked on my podcast plenty of times, like, what are you looking for a man? And I always say that money. I want some money. But realistically, you need more than money. And I really am not one of them people. I had my phone sitting right here this whole time. All right. I'm not even one of those people who really look for money. I come from money in a sense, so I say that just to keep men away from me. But have that conversation with yourself in private, like for real. Figure out what you really want in somebody, and not physical things they could give you. Figure out if you had to describe your dream man in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? If you had somebody that you were gonna do life with and be a partner, what would that look like? And make sure that you're on the same level with those people and y'all have the same goals. If you want to be a housewife or if you want to be a career woman, you got to make sure your husband wants the same thing. Some men want a woman that is going to be based solely in them. Some men want a woman that's going to be a homemaker. Some men want a woman that's going to go half with them. And some men want a woman that is going to provide for them. But you got to make sure, we in the sassy man apocalypse, so you know they out here wanting they want to be the baddies now. The men want to be the baddies. So my last relationship, we broke up because he wanted a birthday party. He wanted to have the biggest birthday party. He was mad because he wasn't the birthday bitch. And I was like, it's only room for one birthday bitch in this relationship. So
oh wow.
Yeah, it was the thing. I had brought him an LLC, got him all type of stuff, and he was like, what's this? I wanted a birthday party. I'm like, you want a cake with sparkles, friend? Like, the fuck?
Let me ask you, I want to circle back to something. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in energy and matching energy with people? Do you believe in that at all?
I'm horrible at that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could match people's energy, but I'm always just me. Like,
well, as far as like, just do you believe in like energies? Period. Like people put in what you want out.
I'm not a big manifestation person.
Okay.
So I've said that several times. I don't believe in manifestation. I believe in God. So I think that you have to pray and go get it. I'm not scream into the universe and maybe it'll come back to you. No, go put in the work. Build your relationship with God and trust that all things will happen. Now, I'll do both. I'll write a little letter to the universe and do... I'm not leaving any stones uncovered. I'm trying to cover all bases.
I feel... The reason why I asked you that was because you had said something to an effect. I forgot what we were talking about, but you said... No, they asked you on the podcast... Like, what do you look for in a man? Mm-hmm. And you said that you say money. Mm-hmm. You're not into that, but you say money mm-hmm. because it keeps the men away.
Yes, leave me alone.
Do you believe you kind of put that energy out there everywhere in your own way?
It's probably definitely my fault.
So, how do you think you could be more open? Like, just thinking on that.
I have no clue because I'm telling you, I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to diversify my profile. Like I said, I'm dating outside my race. I'm dating like. I dated a guy from the airport recently. Like, I'm just trying to, like, see what's out there. I'm, like, literally not excluding myself anymore. So, I'm trying to date different types, all walks of life, like not exclude myself, not put anything in a box. For a long time, I was very hell-bent on not dating outside my race. I'm still kind of against it, but
Yeah.
I'll try it just to say I did. But I'm really into black love, and I want black babies and black on black on black. So, but I don't. My mom always said stay open, so I'm trying to stay open. But
And always, even not even maybe saying things that you don't think would push men away. Because that man may be in the room. You just never know.
I've been trying to stop calling men boys. That's one of my things. Because I always call them boys. I'd be like, because the boy. And then they be like, you got to start calling men men. That's why. You got to stop referring to them as niggas. And I'm like, okay. So just small things like that. Changing my language a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to attract. If I keep referring to men as niggas and boys, I'm going to keep getting niggas and boys. So I am trying to be more conscious about the way that I speak about men and what I'm attracting and blah, blah, blue, blue. I am trying. I am trying now. So work in progress.
Okay. Now, where can the audience find you?
I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere. So on TikTok, my TikTok is What Baddies Eat. Because I started it to make a food page. And that got too expensive. Trying to go out every day. 5-star restaurants doing all that. I was like, okay, we're going to have to pivot this. But that is still my TikTok name. On IG, I'm a girl from Harlem. Twitter, the same thing. Facebook, Tamira Smith. I think that's all the social medias I got.
You're a humanitarian too, right?
Yes. So I have a nonprofit. My nonprofit is called With Love from Harlem. I'm actually trying to establish the Atlanta chapter. So with that, I kind of just try to help the black and brown people in my community with everyday needs. So one of the biggest things I do is my prom giveaway. So I call it the prom experience. So what we do, I set out to do it for one kid, and then I did it for 10 kids. We take care of everything prom related. So your prom tickets, the limo, the photographer, your hair, nails, makeup, dress, every aspect of prom. So recently we did it with Mount Vernon High in the Bronx, and I worked with the homeless sector there. So they had 10 homeless kids that were in their school that they knew of, and I took all 10 of them and just gave them the full prom experience. Suits for the boys, custom-made dresses for the girls, Rolls-Royce trucks drove them to prom, red carpet in front of their building while they came out, photographers. I really want to make sure that I could help as many young black and brown kids have the best experience growing up. I don't want anybody to miss out on an opportunity that they should have, whether it be school trips, Valentine's Day, graduation, back to school. I want to make sure. And another big thing I do is a uniform giveaway. Uniforms are expensive in New York if you're doing charter schools and stuff like that, and then you got to buy them $50 white buttons ups and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I could take the everyday struggles or the financial burdens off of some of the people that we work with. I do career shops for them. So just really trying to, it's called With Love because I want to always be pouring love into the community. So I'm just trying to really make sure that everybody feels love. No one misses out on the opportunity. I don't care. People DM me, ask me for money for their light bill, whatever it is. I try to give it to them. Even the fake pages that be writing me, send me $20. I'll be like, I'll send it to you one time, but you better go feed some kids. And then they'll be right back the next day like, look, I got this sucker. But I don't mind as long as my intentions are where it is. So just always trying to make sure that I could help my community and pour into the place that made me me. And then now that I'm in Atlanta, I've been trying to do it here. So last Valentine's Day, I went out and gave out roses and chocolates to homeless people because just because you're homeless or you're on the streets doesn't mean you shouldn't feel love too. So we went out and gave them messages and flowers and chocolates and teddy bears and let them know that they're loved too in this community.
Wow. That's why you are where you are at now. You're going to continue to climb.
I appreciate that. I'm trying, girl. It ain't that easy, especially now. Everybody's a media baddie and everybody's doing podcasts and stuff like that. So just trying to stand out, stay true to yourself, and not get lost in everything that's out there.
You definitely doing that.
Thank you.
We're gonna end it on that. That's a great note to end it on. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'll be here anytime you need me. You need some more stories. I'll go into the archive and dig some more up for you.
Yeah, you definitely got some.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, guys.
Yes, until next time.